music. So when we talk about theology, and Derrick gave me this hard subject of theology, and I stayed up all week and all night trying to figure out what I was going to bring to you all in terms of theology. When we talk about theology, and by the way, let me add this also. If you want a copy of anything that I've taught, I've got it, available. I'll give you all my email address and I'll send you my notes. Okay, but just jot down what you want to jot down for right now. Tony, thank you so much. Bless you, man. And I'll send it to you. So everybody say theology. Theology. So when we talk about theology, we are talking about the study of how God works with creation. That's all theology is. All right. It's a study of how God works with creation. You and I. Okay. Now, there are so many types of theology, and the theology is broken up into several categories, okay? And all of these categories pretty much talk about people's different perspectives on, how God works with creation. So, for instance, there's a theology called process theology. And this particular theology suggests that God works with creation in stages. Okay? God knows the ultimate plans, but he gives you a little wiggle room to make some decisions, and as you make decisions, then God kind of makes adjustments. Okay? Everybody say process theology. Process. Now I'm going somewhere with this, okay? All right, then there's another theology called systematic theology, which kind of suggests that God necessarily has a perfect manifested will, and you don't realize it, but you're working in God's will 24/7, even when you make those decisions that you make. It's not really you making it. In other words, God works in a systematic format. Okay? So you've got process theology, you've got systematic theology, you have womanist theology, you have feminist theology, you have black and liberation theology, which suggests that God works with the suffering people. All right? And God's plan is to free all of us who are suffering. However, there's another theology that people don't pay a lot of attention to, and it's called music theology. All right? This is a theology that many of us here operate in. Music theology suggests that God works in the constructs of music, and I'm going to explain this, to accomplish his will for creation and through creation. Let me give it to you one more time. Music theology suggests that God uses the constructs of music to work his will, to reveal himself to us. In other words, God reveals who he is to us through music. All right? Y'all feeling me so far? All right? So while you got one theology that suggests that God works in process, you got another theology that says God works based on God's system. You got another theology that says God is involved in freeing God's people. Then you got this theology, which is a very under the radar theology that says God is so powerful that he can use music to show his presence.
Hallelujah.
And see, this is a blessing to you and I, because this is what we do. Yes. When we sing, we're trying to show folk God through our song.
Yes.
All right? That's what we're doing. And if you're doing it for any other reason, then you might want to recheck your occupation. Yeah. All right? In other words, if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, then what you're doing is really in vain. Right. You ain't singing just to be singing on no choir. You ain't singing just because you got a pretty voice or a nice baritone, or you can sing Silent Night and bass during Christmas time. That ain't why you sing. You don't sing because you are highly recruited by all of the choirs because you can do riffs and runs.
Talk about it.
You don't sing just because you don't. Matter of fact, you're not asked to be on the choir just because you're anointed.
Say so.
Some folk think that you are the cat's meow and the dog's bow wow of the